Good morning, happy Friday, and welcome to the NOFO Live Show, where I, Sunita, along with my two co-hosts, Tracy and Kelly from NOFO Endless Summer and Tracy from Miss Tracy Kessler, we hop on every Friday and talk about everything going on in the North Fork. Summer has literally clocked out at the end of her shift because fall has just come in and there is no sign of summer. It is cold, it's chilly, but beautiful. So, for everybody that enjoys fall, it's here and they're loving it. I'm still a summer girl, but I'm warming up, pun intended. Quick programming note. Last week we had on Teresa from One for All Gifts. Good morning, Kelly. And
Good morning.
how are you?
Good.
I just wanted to talk about Teresa's one from One for All Gifts that was on our show last week, and she talked about her Art in the Vine show, but because of the weather, I think they've had to reschedule it, so I believe it's the following weekend. So I don't want to give the wrong date, but it's not this weekend, but it moved to the next weekend.
I don't know why I have my vacuum in the background of the I just realized that I stuck it in the corner there. So enjoy our Dyson.
Good morning, Liz. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. We're hoping Tracy is going to be able to join us because she definitely wanted to be on to chat with you. But she is trying to get on a plane because she's returning from a business trip. But given how ambitious we all are, she believes that she may be able to still pop in somewhere in between.
Wow.
Is she at the airport? What is her?
I believe she's at the airport. She may be close to the gate. Not gate. She may be close to the door of the plane.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
We've never done a live show from an airplane.
Well, it just, she's watching. She just wasn't sure if she'd be able to hop on as a co-host. But anyway, she, like I said, she has a little girl, as we all know, Tilly, who, someday, soon, she hopes will be at your school. So she definitely wanted to talk and, hear more.
That's so sweet.
Yes. There she is. Good morning.
I'm on the plane. I got on first, and I'm sitting in my seat, so I'm sure we're going to hear a lot.
They allow you to pre-board so that you can get on the show.
Yeah, I was like, listen, I'm an Instagram celebrity. I must get on.
Wait, this is a new version of the Mile High Club now.
Exactly.
First ever Instagram live show.
Good morning, welcome to Board Jet Blue Airways. Okay, we chose to fly with us this morning, and we do go.
Wow, that's so cool.
Oh, that's Liz. I mean, Liz. Not only are we internet celebrities, you're like worldwide now.
Yes, that's it. They should be
where are you, Tracy?
From the little TVs on the back of the chair.
All right. Before we, for whatever reason, lose Tracy in the sky, let's hop right in, Liz. Tell us who you are, what you do, and share all the new stuff that's happening at your school.
Okay,
yeah,
great.
and before
Thank
you do that, I just want to say the reason I was so excited to join, aside from my internet celebrity-ness, I've heard so much. I live right down the street from where you guys are, and I've had my neighbors go to your school, my clients go to your school. Like, I've heard such amazing, wonderful, wonderful things.
Thank you.
I'm hoping someday maybe Tilly can go, so we'll see.
Yeah,
see. But I want to hear all
great.
about what you guys are up to.
Great. Well, thank you so much for having me, and I'm thrilled that you know some of our kids who come to Peconic Community School. My name is Liz Casey Searle, and I'm one of the co-directors and co-founders of Peconic Community School. We're in our 11th year, and we are located in Aquabog on the main road across the street from Hampton Coffee. Great location. I'll talk more about that later. But we're a small independent progressive school, early childhood through 8th grade. We just recently added our 7th and 8th grade, which has been very exciting. So now we can have kids, if they want, to begin at early childhood, 3 years old, and go all the way up to the 8th grade, which is thrilling for us, as that's always been our hope, is to be able to serve kids through 8th grade. We started humbly in downtown Riverhead. The East End Arts Council was kind enough to rent us a space our very first year back in 2011. And they rented us one classroom and then an art room. And we had 9 students, ages K through 3, with one teacher, myself, my sister Catherine, and our other co-founder Trish Eckert. All 3 of us would kind of be huddled in the back, just hoping and praying everything would go okay. In those early days, it was all new and nerve-wracking. It still can be nerve-wracking, but we've settled into quite a groove at this point. We started Peconic Community School to just provide an alternative in the community, a educational opportunity or a choice for students who wanted, and parents, families who wanted something where kids could be creative, innovative. We foster critical thinking skills, problem-solving skills, and do a hands-on, exploratory, multisensory, rich educational program. And it turned out it is something that the North Fork really needed and wants. I was a parent of a about to be kindergarten student back in 2011, and I had my ear to the ground and noticed that a lot of families were looking for another option and either leaving the area or choosing to homeschool or just really kind of struggling to find an option for their kids outside of the public school. So we started the school kind of thinking, if you build it, they will come, as cheesy as it sounds, but it is true. And so after that first year with 9 students, in our second year, we grew to 27 students and moved to our current location where we are in Aquabog, housed in the Our Redeemer Lutheran Church, and we have the school side of that building. And so we have, in this part of the building, we have grades 1st through 8th. And then when COVID hit, we were at 27 students in our second year. We grew to around 60 ultimately. That was kind of our max at that point until COVID hit. And then COVID, I think we saw, like all of you probably noticed in the community, outflux of people from the city. And we had a new set of families looking for an option for their kids. COVID obviously posed tremendous challenges for schools everywhere, but we were able to pivot and able to do a really quick addition to our campus. We opened an early childhood over at the Vertebra Nursery, which has been an amazing place for an early childhood. It's been absolutely incredible, and we have a mostly outdoor program there. And then our 1st through 8th is in this current space. We at the high point, we grew to about 115 students, which was a lot for us. But that was when COVID hit and the.
Okay, so wait. So I have a question. So you said you started with 6 or under 10 students, and then 9 students, and then you're at 100 and something, and you managed to be able to expand in the same location. That is awesome.
It's been really lucky. So we're in the one location now, and then we have the Vertebra location for the little ones, and those are really close, so we can walk back and forth. So it was very lucky to find that spot.
Is that more outdoorsy, hands-on nature type of learning? And the other thing I wanted to add before we go, I'm like Tracy, I don't have young kids. I'm empty nesting. My kids are grown and gone. But like Tracy, I too have heard so many good things about you, which is why we wanted to reach out to you and have you on the show. I know several people in my neighborhood that go there and love it. So
thank you.
I want to know.
Thank you so much. It's been a labor of love, and we truly love it. It's a passion. It's education with love at its center, and I think that's really what kind of sets us apart and makes it such a special place. It's because we lead with love, and we teach with love, and that's really important to us. Our kids, the kids that go here, they're our family. This is a family, and we try to meet every student where they are and allow them to flourish in their own unique abilities and their own unique personhood. So it's a really special place. It's challenging. It's definitely not without challenges.
Well, as a parent, every parent knows that you need a lot of patience to deal with kids. And I can't imagine as a teacher, I would imagine you need double the patience because you're dealing with so many kids and only for a short amount of time because the rest of the time they go home, and, you know. So speak to me a little bit more about what it is like to be a teacher around so many young children.
Well, I actually am not one of the teachers.
Okay.
I am one of the founders and director, so I do an administrative role. I actually handle all the admissions, so I get to share with families what happens, what a day looks like, how the magic unfolds here. So I get to kind of see the kids. I'll do recess duty from time to time, or I'll do, I pop into classes all the time to visit.
You get the fun part.
I get the fun part. Yeah, exactly. I love my job.
Tell us a little bit about the day in the early childhood with like the mostly outdoor. I'd love to hear more about that.
Yeah, so the children arrive, and typically they'll have some sort of provocation in the setup on the table, and they'll have some, or on in this case it's on the ground or on a stage that we have set up. It will be something to kind of invite their imaginations to start flowing right away. The other day, for example, our 4 or 5 class, they had a whole little dinosaur world set up. So it's little dinosaurs and blocks. And so that invites the children to kind of come in and become engaged right away and get interested, helps with the transition, saying goodbye to mom, dad, or caregiver. And they kind of get interested and excited right away to have something to do. So after the arrival time, which kind of unfolds gently, they will then have a morning meeting. So students will, and this happens across the board, whether you're in early childhood or in 7th grade, the students will have a morning meeting, and that is an opportunity to really settle ground into the day, check in with each other, see how everyone's doing, feeling. That way teachers can kind of assess, were there any struggles this morning? What happened on the bus? Did they eat breakfast? Kind of take the temperature of the students and what kind of day it's going to be. There also might be a little riddle for the morning, or some kind of tongue twister if you're a little one, or there might be something fun for them. The little ones will do finger plays, songs. They'll go over the calendar. Usually there's a song for the days of the week as they're learning the days of the week, the months of the year, that kind of thing. And then they'll, talk about what the plan for the day is. Our little ones will typically have some sort of enrichment program in the morning, which could be either Spanish, or it might be music with Miss Jenna, or it might be yoga with Miss Erica. And that's the same for the older students as well. They'll have an enrichment piece during the day, a co-curricular. So for the little ones, after the morning meeting, they might have one of those enrichments, or they might have project time. Project time would be when they're, working on maybe an art piece, or they're doing something for our integrated unit, which is a study of trees right now. So they might be, looking at trees, they might be feeling trees, exploring. There's so much beautiful flora and fauna at Verteber, so they're always interacting with that.
Is that an upper cap age limit for students? Because I feel like I might need to sign up for a day.
I know. I always say that. I want to go back to school and start over. So yeah, of course there's always a snack time for our little ones and our older ones. Snack is important. Another opportunity to kind of socialize and practice what it means to eat with one another, and how to. For our little ones, they're learning those independent skills, how to open a little package, or how to open their Tupperware, if it's, depending on how it's packed. So we're always kind of building those independent skills. Certainly we help them initially, but then we're really trying to grow their ability to do it for themselves, which is fun to watch how that evolves over the year. In the beginning, they might ask for help. And then as the year goes on, they might realize, oh, I can do this now. And that's very exciting. What else will you see? We'll see a lot of free play. Our program's really play-based, and we really believe that so much of your learning and social understanding comes from play. They're learning through play. They'll play in the sandbox, or they'll play in the area we call wood chips. So there's tires, and there's loose parts where they'll manipulate things, or they'll play in the mud kitchen and they'll be baking. They'll create a whole play schema where they're, it's very rich and very meaningful, and they're learning, even though, they look like they're playing. That's their work. That's their play is their work. So they have a lot of opportunity for that, and a lot of opportunity to negotiate with each other. So they're inevitably there'll be conflicts, or there'll be, they both want the same shovel. So they're working through those kinds of things. They're trying to, negotiate, navigate relationships. So it's really a lot of that. And it's a beautiful thing to witness. It really is. We have opportunity for gross motor play, fine motor skill work. We allow the academics to kind of gently unfold. We're not pushing those in any kind of top-down way. We're allowing that to come from the student as they're interested, lest we, stymie the process. We don't want to ever kind of turn anyone off from the excitement of learning. Our mission is to foster a love of learning. So if we see a student who's really interested in numbers and letters, then we're going to seize on that moment. But if they're not showing that interest at a little, at a young age, we're going to, kind of wait, watch, provide little seeds, plant little seeds, or provide opportunities for it, and then to kind of see how it blossoms. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I just have a question. Actually, Tracy and Zanita probably don't know this about me. I was a teacher for 10 years. I actually have a master's in TESOL. So,
wow.
I have a little bit of a
Amazing.
background in education. I worked in private, I worked in public. There's definitely a big difference between private education and public education. Mm-hmm. Do you find that as a private institution, you have enough resources for the children who need the extra help? Or are you looking to expand in that way in terms of like behavioral issues or speech or occupational therapy or things like that?
That's such a great question. Especially because you kind of bring up the resource piece. And there is kind of misconception, I think, that a private institution might be, swimming in money or rolling in dough. It's just not the case. Yeah, it's not the case at all. We are a school that runs on a shoestring. We are definitely tuition based, but we do everything we can to provide this education for anyone who wants it through aggressive tuition remission and tuition assistance. So that's really important to us because we want it to be an accessible school. And the fact is that we do need tuition. Tuition doesn't even cover what it costs for to educate the child, so or to run the school. So we do a lot of fundraising. But in terms of resources, we do work closely with the public school district, and every child who needs a service or has been evaluated and deserves that service or shows that need, we in partnership with the local school district provide that service. So a lot of time
with the local school district.
Exactly. We work in partnership with them. And so if a child needs some speech services, they'll get speech services. If they need OT, they'll get OT services. And so we work within our schedule to make sure that those services can be provided. And then Riverhead is in charge of kind of, because we're in the Riverhead School District, they will hire the service provider. And so it's really, truly a partnership. We definitely, because of our size and staff, we're limited in, what kind of supports we can give. Right. And of course, we always want to expand that. Just to answer your question, like it's definitely something we want to be able to take, as many students of all different learning abilities as possible as we grow. So,
for sure.
Now, because you're so popular, is there a waiting list, or do you take new students every year, or how does that work?
For some classes, there are waiting lists. We've seen a lot of flux in the population, the community. So there's been students who came during COVID, and then some have moved back to the city. Families are still moving out, it seems, which is really exciting. And then there's families who are still moving. So there's a lot of flux, but we do have waiting lists in some of our classes. Like some of them are full, and then there's room in others. But really exciting news is that, I don't know if you've seen, but it was in the local paper, is that we are going to be purchasing a property, 10-acre property in Cutchogue on the main road, so that we can move our school to that property and all be together. Being on the two campuses, while it has provided some amazing opportunities, has been challenging just in kind of that cohesion and that connection. So we're really, really excited to be hopefully opening, fingers crossed, next fall in Cutchogue on the former Catholic school property, which is thrilling because it was a school and we get to kind of preserve it and, you know, keep it a school. So we're super, super excited about that.
A lot in the Catholic education that the schools are closing and then other schools are taking over.
Yeah, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it's an amazing space, 10 acres, 3 buildings. And we're working with a team of architects who are just going to help us kind of realize the full vision of, you know, making the space everything we hope it can be for the community. Really, we're excited for it to be the school, but then maybe even open up more programming and more opportunities for the entire North Fork community. So it's exciting.
I did see that article, and that sounds really exciting. I did want to ask what your future plans in that space are. Are you planning, you just mentioned you would be doing other programming. Are you planning on expanding to other grades? What do you seem so passionate about what you're doing. So I can only imagine that you have this snowballing ideas of what's next and bigger and better. So what is your vision for the future?
Yeah, I mean, I think we have always had a vision of, you know, having a school that's, you know, a thriving entity, and then have sort of additional opportunities in the arts, in sort of environmental opportunities, and programming, even intergeneration. There are a lot of dreams and hopes that we are excited. So
big plans.
Big plans. Most excitingly, I think the church provides this amazing space for the potential for performance. So
what's the
music
church? Just so I have an idea of location.
Yeah, it's so right across from the Cutchogue Diner. It's the Catholic church right there. Right now it's in major disrepair. It does need a ton of work. So we'll be doing aggressive fundraising to help be able to restore these incredible buildings. But that place specifically lends itself to performance. So theater groups, dance groups, music, both for our students and then for the public, maybe speaker series, things like that. So it's super exciting, and I would love to involve you all.
That sounds awesome. As you're talking, I'm thinking about, CAST recently purchased that building in the heart of Southold, and I think it's turned into a space that's becoming more of a community center, along with, the food pantry aspect of what CAST does, and it's beautiful. So I wish you the best of luck in your vision and plans, and I love the idea of it being a creative arts center for the kids to participate in. That's super exciting.
It is. It's really exciting. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah. Cass is doing amazing things, and we're thrilled to see these kind of community hubs popping up. I mean, it's good for everyone, and I think we need that as a community. We need the opportunities to connect in person, in real life, and to experience things again. I think we're coming off of such a hard time that we really want, those places that we can gather and have meaningful experiences together. So.
All right, before JetBlue cuts off our show, we want to get to the rapid fire questions with you, Liz.
Okay.
So tell us, I know you're busy at the school. We'll start with the sunrise or sunset. Do you wake up early? Do you go catch a sunrise? Is there a location you like for a sunset?
I'm a sunset girl. I love watching the sunset at Bailey Beach. I live near Bailey Beach in Medituck, and so we also have access to a little community spot where we can watch the sunset, where there's steps down to near Bailey Beach, and it's my favorite spot. It's
perfect.
Very, very lucky.
And now
I'm going to jump in quick before the announcement.
You have a sec?
I have 1 sec. If you were going to take us to lunch, Liz, or dinner, where would you take us?
Oh, okay. Well, you asked lunch and dinner. So lunch, Main Road biscuit. I love Main Road biscuit.
Good one.
And dinner, I think we'd have to go to Southold Social.
Ooh.
Choice.
I'm in. Yes.
Are
Okay.
you a vineyard or a brewery person? And if so, what's your go-to?
I'm both.
Okay.
I love Greenport Harbor Brewing Company. Love that place. Great place for families. I love bringing the kids there. Lots of room to run around and play. And winery, I have to say, my favorite is Lieb on Oregon Road. My husband and I go there for if we can steal away for a couple of hours. Also love Peconic Bay Vineyards and Rose Hill. Yeah.
Well, pro tip about Lieb for anyone considering, they are one of the few vineyards that are open late. So they're
Yes.
open till 7 p.m., which is great
That's right.
because, you know, usually things close here early. And now that it's getting darker even earlier, you know, it feels like,
Yeah.
no, we love Lieb as
And you
well.
can catch a great sunset from
You
the
can.
Yeah.
And they have even the outdoor patio has those fire heaters, so you
Yep.
can sit outside. I think they're open all year actually, so
Yeah.
that's another another plus for them.
Yeah, totally.
And what about your go-to farm stand for when you're getting your goodies?
Okay. This is a good one. So North Fork Farm Stand is Sangley, but I'm very fortunate because my husband is a farmer and has a background in farming. And he's over at Sylvester Manor on Shelter Island, which is not the North Fork, but they have a farm stand. He often brings home goodies for us, so we're very, very lucky for that as well. But I do
Oh my
love
God,
Sangley.
you waited till the last minute to tell us about this farming aspect of your life. We need to. I see a field trip for the kids coming in the future on a
They go
ferry
all the
ride.
time. Yes, they go all the time.
That is,
It's a great partnership. Yeah, they go and visit the farm. They have pigs there. They have they're doing a lot of things. Their history
I
and heritage
recently took
program.
my kids on a little a guided tour that they do, and we picked veggies and we made a salad. It was very fun.
Oh, yes, that's wonderful. Yeah, it's a very special place. It really is. That's so cool
see,
that you did that.
that's
Yeah.
that's the thing about the North Fork that's hard to explain until you're here and living the life. Like we have 3 boys, and I raised
Me
them in
too.
suburb.
Same place.
Isn't it exciting?
It's so fun.
So we raised them in suburban New Jersey, and it was great. And you know, it's suburbia, and it's wonderful. But when you come here and you see how closely everything is tied to nature, it's at a whole other level. You know, and the fact that kids go to farms and actually know how carrots grow and are exposed to all of that, that's incredible. And it's amazing that you're able to marry the two and bring that all into their learning experience.
It's amazing. It's amazing. What we do at PCS is place-based learning, and so they really are, getting this rich kind of understanding and experience and love for where they live and what happens here, the industries, the farms, yes, the sea. So many of our studies are focused on that and focused on, what's happening in this area. All of it, all the sort of the good of it, and then some of the challenges that we face, whether it's from climate or, what have you, development, we talk about all of these things. So it's a great place to educate kids, to raise kids, and to be able to teach them. So
yeah, there's definitely a level of exposure that happens on the North Fork that, I mean, we kind of consider ourselves city people here. And my kids were terrified of animals, like any and all animals, even dogs.
Wow.
And my daughter, we came out to the North Fork often, and my daughter expressed this interest in horses. And now, I picked her up from her last day of camp this summer, and she was hugging a horse. I'm like, you won't even
cool.
pet a dog. How did this happen? So there definitely is this exposure that happens to kids who are getting a chance to be on the North Fork and go to school and the whole thing.
Yeah. Whether it's summer or year round, you do get that relationship with nature becomes really important. And I remember when we had a student who came out from the city during COVID, and we were showing him the property, and he was uncomfortable with the way the grass felt on his feet, or he had some Crocs on, and so he could feel that grass, and it was so unusual. He hadn't really had that experience of feet in the grass. So he got used to that, and then by the end of the year he was running around barefoot. So yeah, it's a really special place, and we're very lucky.
Tracy,
Okay,
can you wrap it up?
I was gonna say,
Or is
we
it not a
usually, I mean,
possibility?
we're like doing this. Yeah. Okay. Okay. I just got yelled at. Gotta go, guys.
All right.
Oh, don't yell at Tracy.
Tracy, we have to go, but we want to hear your final thoughts on the North Fork. You were talking about having, the joys of just experiencing what kids experience as they feel grass for the first time or feel water for the first time. That's so exciting, and it's great that you are creating a space, for them to be able to experience all of that. So, tell us what you love about being a part of the North Fork community.
I feel really, really blessed. I did grow up here, and then and left for a time. And then I think what happens to a lot of people is they're drawn back by the beauty of the North Fork, the fact that we're surrounded by water, all the farms and all the vineyards and all the richness that's here. My family was here, so when it was time for me to raise my three boys, it made sense to come back here. And it is just a wonderful place to raise kids. I think going onto Love Lane and saying hello to the barber, saying hello to the shop owners, knowing people, and just because you're familiar and seeing them all the time, it's a friendly place. It's becoming more and more diverse, which I appreciate and love that we're seeing just all kinds of new faces and new people, new families coming. I love that. I love that it's becoming just a hub of activity, and it's exciting to me to see other people discover the North Fork and what's so beautiful about it. And it should be shared. It should be, a place for everyone to feel welcome and to feel like this could be your home too. It is hard to afford. So I think there's work to do there. We want to make this feasible for everyone, and to be a place where we can, all kinds of people can experience the beauty and love of the North Fork. It's an amazing place. It really is. I love it, and it's been home, so it will always be home no matter where I go.
Oh, that's so sweet.
That's awesome. For those of us who've been lucky enough to be either visiting or part of the North Fork for so many years, as you alluded, a lot of change is happening, and some of it is good and some of it not so good. And, but it's good to see the diversity growing, and it's good to see more people making this a full-time residence as opposed to a part-time, which is where really the need for more schools and more, more space in schools is coming up, because there are more kids now that do want to go. So thank you so much, Liz, for coming on and sharing what you're doing in the education space. And if you're not already following, follow Peconic. Is it Peconic Community School? That's what your Instagram is also. Great. And I'm
very
sure
active on Instagram, so definitely give us a follow.
Oh my God, I love the reel you guys made for the first day of school with all the teachers waiting for the kids to come. I thought it was hysterical. It was amazing.
Thank you.
It was so fun.
We have the best staff in the world. Yeah, they're amazing. They're amazing.
It was great.
You.
Well, thank you. Good. Thank you, ladies. Enjoy your weekend.
Great to meet you.
Catch you next Friday. Bye.
Bye.